everyone, and welcome to Positive by Design. Good people talking about real shit and easy to implement success methods. Hosted by Social Jane Media, brought to you by yours truly, Sarah Glenn. I am the creator and CEO of Social Jane Media, a certified social media marketing expert and the branding specialist that many entrepreneurs turn to. If you're looking for inspiration from other entrepreneurs and high-vibing humans, you're in the right place. So settle in, get comfy, and let's get started. In today's episode, we're talking with Aimee Glass. Welcome back, Aimee. She is a mindset and life coach and the founder of A Glass of Natural Health and Wellness. Her community is helping women break free and transform to live a happier, healthier, more abundant life through mindset, health, and wellness education. It's really good to have you back on Positive by Design. And what have you been up to? Let's chat about it. What you've been up to since the last time we talked?
Oh, so much has happened, and some of it's not great, and it's definitely been, the last few months have been really difficult for me, and because we lost our son, but he was very, very sick, so there was just basically 4 months, but of every move he made, it was just all him, and we were so stressed and we weren't sleeping and all that kind of stuff, and then we lost him, and then we haven't been able to process that because we haven't had a chance to, because we just got to keep going with work and everything and stuff like that. But I'm also on a significant personal growth journey because I decided that enough was enough. I'm sick of feeling sick and tired all the time, and feeling not having any joy, like not experiencing fun anymore. I'm like, why can't I have I can laugh and I can be happy for a second and say, oh, this is, but really sit back and go, oh, I'm having really good fun, and everything's great and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, something is wrong. So I have this wonderful community, and mindset is a massive passion of mine. I studied forensic psychology and criminology at university, and yes, that's more about criminals and stuff like that. And yes, I do that as I fight crime during the day, and then at night I'm with mindset.
Yes, you're nurturing minds. Yes,
very two different fields, and but at the end of the day, it's still all the same thing. It's about mindset. So I use mindset to help with investigations during the day, and then at night or on the weekends I help women or just generally anyone that is needing to be reminded that they are incredible, that they are worth something, and that your life, you only have one, and you should, if you do not feel happy, if you do not feel healthy, if you do not feel like you are living your life, then you need to do something about it. You need to change that, because you've only got one. So what is the point of being, you could be the wealthiest person, but if you don't want to get up every day and go, this is going to be a great day, and enjoy your life, then what's the point of all the money? You hear so many people that win the lottery and they've got more problems and they're broke within 5 years, and it's like, how the hell have you just lost $60 million or something like that? And it's because their problems are only magnified with money. So if you, and both Sarah and I follow a wonderful money mindset coach called Denise Duffield Thomas. She is a fellow Australian. She is my mentor, but we also follow another incredible woman called Kimberly Olson, and who's a self-made. They're both self-made millionaires, and they both have come from poor backgrounds. they weren't born into wealth. They weren't born into any special opportunities or anything like that. They have made themselves, and they have also aligned themselves with lots of other women that done the same. And it's just, you just look at these women in awe and you go, well, I want to be something like that. I want to get up every day and be like, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, feeling happy. Like, and like, yeah, you're going to have days where you don't want to get out of bed. Like today was 5 degrees when I got up and I'm like, I don't want to get up. Saturday morning, I want to sleep in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but if you are always in that groundhog day of, oh, I've got to get up, I've got to go to work, especially Mondays, like Monday blues, big time, like, oh, the weekend's just disappeared. I mean,
that's such a mindset thing though, right? Like the Monday blues, or, just I actually really like Mondays now because I have like a week full of purposeful things that make me really happy. And I didn't always have that. Oh my God. Are you kidding? I used to, on like a Sunday night, I'm just like, okay, should I have another glass of wine? Or maybe having a hangover tomorrow is just going to make my Monday that much worse. Like, that was the life I was living for a very long time. And that is not fun. And if you've got a case of the Mondays, let me just tell you, like, it's normal to the degree of like pretty much everyone has a case of the Mondays, but like, do you want that for yourself? Or do you want to wake up and be like, fuck yes, it's a new day and I don't give a shit that it's a Monday. I'm going to have a great day. Right?
I don't care. Yeah. I'm going to have a great Tuesday.
We cuss on this podcast, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm Australian and I'm an Aussie and I am married.
Commonly cuss a lot? Is that a thing? Okay, awesome. I would fit in great.
We tell you what we're not. Like if you ask us how we are, we're like, oh yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
We just tell you what we're not. There's a comedian called Carl Barron, and he's an Aussie comedian, and I should send you a few links of his.
Oh yeah, I love comedy.
He just talks. It's like, we tell you what we're not, and like you go, oh, how far is it? We go, oh, not far, and like, we just never. We're pretty, like, a lot of people say from different cultures that we're quite laid back. We're not laid back. There's not dangerous animals everywhere and all that kind of stuff.
There's not like a spider that's going to kill you just lurking around the corner. In Australia.
There could be. Well, look, I will admit there are a lot of dangerous animals. But
that's anywhere. Country. I mean, I live in Texas. If you step in a fire ant pile, your day is ruined. Let me just tell you. Like,
but you cannot live in fear of these things. Like,
yes,
fear is it is a prison. And both Sarah and I have come out of fear. We both, like, you asked me 12 months ago, or even, I think, when did I start this podcast? Probably the start of this.
Yeah, I think it was, I started this in January. So I want to say you started yours in January or February.
It's January, February, I think. Yeah. February, I think. If you asked me last year that you'd have a podcast, I'd be like, are you insane? No one wants to listen to my voice.
I actually told my husband last night, I want to say it was, which actually at the time of this recording, it was last night. But I was finishing up a project for a client, and I looked at him and I was like, could you imagine if 3 years ago someone told me that I was going to be getting paid to have fun designing projects for someone else, to do a workshop, to make money, talking to women, to tell them how they can live better lives? I would have looked at you and been like, you're fucking nuts. There's no way that's what my life is going to be like in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, so no matter what's happening to you right now in this moment in time, if you want something different, all you have to do is be open to the possibility of it. Be willing to just see opportunity. Like, not everything is going to be for you, right? But what you do have control over is self-sabotaging along the way and not
Ooh,
allowing
yeah.
yourself to partake in any of the really good stuff that's coming your way, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I have no shame in saying that I have had a battle with mental health most of my life. If you've got chronic pain, I've got chronic pain because I have a muscular dystrophy. Most of the time I can't feel it, and I have I follow a special diet to ensure that I don't have to take medication and all that kind of stuff. And we can talk about that another time. But if you have chronic pain, you have mental health problems. And if someone wants to jump down my throat about it, go for it. But I guarantee you ask anyone who has chronic pain, they will tell you that they do not feel good mentally. And think about it. If you've broken your arm or you've injured yourself, and you can't go to the gym or you can't do your normal routine, your mood changes big time. And that's a short-term thing. Imagine long-term thing. So mental health is a big, big part I've struggled with most of my life. And now I'm working extremely hard and putting myself through a lot of change to finally get over years and years and years of stored trauma that's in my body. I have an extremely stressful job. I work frontline in law enforcement and have done for a very long time. And I'm specialized in particular areas where a lot of people, it's part of their worst nightmares that I deal with. So I deal with the worst of humanity. But a lot of people go, how can that not affect you? It does to a point. I'm never going to lie about it. It does. You ask anyone in the police force or anyone that's like a nurse or doctor or frontline in any ambulance officer, it will affect you to a point because you have to be in a particular state of mind. But we know how to switch it off. But if you do not know how to switch it off, or if you feel like every day is a drag, like every day you cannot wait for your job to finish, if you cannot wait to get home so you can have a drink, if you cannot wait to get home so you can turn on TV and just numb yourself out of your reality, then we need to chat, because you are living in your own cage. You're living in a fear cage. You're living in a mindset cage. And I can tell you from personal experience, once you start working on it, and it's not easy. It is not easy. You're the nasty bitch in your head. If you're a female, a nasty, you can say she's a bitch in your head if you're a male too. Yeah. Will tell you that, you're not worth it, that you are ugly, you're not intelligent, you're not this, you're not that. But they are all lies. 99% of all of that is lies. But it becomes reality when you allow it to become reality. And when you start working on that on that mindset, it's tough to change neuro-linguistic programming and all that kind of things. But when you do start working on it, your life literally transforms. And like Sarah and I have just said, we wouldn't have, there'd be no way. I used to hate myself so much. I'm a recovering self-hater. I'm going to coin that and put it on a t-shirt. And I used to hate myself so much that I used to hate taking photos. So we haven't documented a lot of our life. But now I'm live twice a week in my community. I do TikToks, for goodness sake, and reels and all these sorts of things. And no way would I have done that.
That is some major growth. I mean,
that is major growth. And I just do it. Sometimes I don't even re-look at them because I know my subconscious or the nasty bitch in my head is going to go, oh, look how ugly you are. Or you said you sounded funny on that. Or this. Guess what? I don't re-listen to it because I go, you know what? I've put all my energy into that. I've done my best, and that is all I can achieve. And each time you get better and better. And with changing your mindset, it literally starts with you saying enough's enough. I'm worth it. I'm going to work on it. And there are so many people out there that can help you, Sarah and I included. And there are professionals. Yes, there are lots of professionals. Look, you cannot do this on your own. Trust me, I've tried. You can get to a point by yourself, but you need help. You need someone there to support you. You always need someone to support you.
But I think a big part of the support piece and why it's so important to like get you into that transitional phase is because self-awareness, like we think, oh, well, innately, like I'm a human, I'm aware of my own existence, so therefore I have self-awareness. No. That is not what is happening, because it's like over time, you've just allowed these layers and layers and layers and layers to just cloak you until you're completely unrecognizable. You have everybody else's perceptions and opinions and assumptions and obligations like hanging on you, and you don't recognize yourself anymore. So that self-awareness, like you have to like dig yourself out, and you need a little bit of help sometimes. And eventually you'll get to a point where it's like, all right, I can do my own meditation practice. I can develop that self-awareness and all of the things. But I did a recent podcast episode where I was like talking about self-awareness, and I talked to one of my friends, my best friend that lives up in New York. She messaged me after listening to it, and she was like, you're so right. Self-awareness is a fucking superpower. The moment you start to just embody self-awareness and just fully work on it, right? Like you're never going to be a master of your self-awareness. It is a constant evolution, a constant discovery process, right? Which is a good thing.
Yes.
And she was like, I love that, you say that, because it's so true. People don't recognize how powerful simply being self-aware of what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want, what's going to make you happy, what's not working out for you. Like if you have a coworker that every time they leave your space, you just feel drained and you feel negative and you feel sad or you feel angry, those are things to pay attention to. That's self-awareness. That's you saying, okay, I don't want that person in my life anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep people like that away from me because they're sucking the energy from me. Like that's what self-awareness can do for you. It puts boundaries in place.
Yeah.
And it just, so powerful.
And I think a lot of people think, or society in general, because self-awareness starts with self-care. Because if you do not feel good in yourself, then you're not going to become self-aware. And trust me, taking those layers off, all those society things that have been placed on you, and a lot of those have been placed on you since you were a child. If we want to talk psych terms, we can say that they are your perceptions that your neurological pathways that have been developed over time. Most of them have been developed by age 7. And then they also develop up until about 21. But after that, it's just reiterating those paths. And to change them is really, it's easy and it's not, if that makes sense.
It's simple.
It's simple to do.
It's
simple to do, but it takes work and effort and commitment. Commitment's the number one thing. So I'm currently, like I said, I'm going through a massive personal development thing. Like I do. So what's changed? What's changed for me? So before I started all this stuff, I had problems leaving the house. Like I was to a point, I had to do things, OCD, certain things to check to leave the house. And if it's something changed, I would have to physically hurt myself to leave the house. Because I knew when I got to work that I was going to get abused because I was severely bullied and by superiors. And, I'm no longer in that area anymore. And I have an amazing work team now that we do incredible work, and it's a fantastic thing. But the things that had to change was, 1, that I had to decide enough is enough. 2, start working on my health. So I engaged incredible naturopath that I've been seeing off and on for a good 15 years. And she's incredible. And she opened my eyes to the natural world and how incredible nature can, and how that can change. And then I started working on my mindset, and having a psych background, having a psych qualifications, I knew exactly what to do. I could tell someone how to make themselves feel better and all that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't do it to myself. So the first thing was to say, okay, I am worthy of being happy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healthy. And forgiving myself now. Forgiveness for women is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
We can forgive everyone, but to forgive ourselves, to love ourselves, is the hardest thing to do. And I think, so that's part of self-care, is actually caring for yourself. Like, a lot of people, as soon as you say self-care, they're like, oh, I don't have time for a massage. I don't have time to go and get a facial. It has nothing to do with that. That's like extra bonuses on top.
Yeah.
Self-care is, and I came up with the busiest woman's guide for self-care, because I got no time. I work basically 2 jobs and have a chronic illness and a family. So yeah. Sarah and I are busy. We ain't got time, but we make time. And that's why I came up with this guide, because some of them are so simple and so easy and so not time consuming that you'd be meant to, like, drinking water. If you don't drink enough water, start drinking more water. The reason why, your body is 60 to 70% water. Your brain is 70% water. And if you are not hydrated, you cannot think properly. You are not consciously thinking properly. You cannot process things. You cannot problem solve. You cannot do things. So when you can't do those things, guess what happens? You get stressed. So you get more stressed because you can't do things. And you get headaches and you get more pain. And then, like, it's this vicious cycle. So start drinking water. If you are a person that for some crazy reason do not like the flavor of water, get a filter.
Oh my gosh, I've heard people say that before, and I'm like, what?
Trust me. It's like the number one thing I drink is water. Yeah, and
water. This whole thing.
It's literally just instinctively grabbing our waters.
I'm like, yes. And you know what? It blows my mind that something so simple that everybody takes for granted, water. Drink water. But yet people are like, oh my gosh, I gotta spend all this money on this thing, and I gotta do all these expensive, extravagant things to feel my best.
Nope.
No, just drink more water. Because it's crazy. I ask people sometimes, like, how many ounces they think they drink. And some people are like, oh, maybe I'll have like 1 or 2 of like an 8-ounce cup. And I'm like, oh no. You need to drink. So if you're listening to this, aim for 100 ounces. And if you land on like 80, thumbs up. Like, you really, I mean, I'd like to say less than 80 is okay, right?
Yeah.
But really aim high, y'all. Dream big and drink your water.
And a great tip is, the first thing to do when you get up is have a water bottle next to your bed or wherever you get ready, and drink water before you have your first cup of coffee, because coffee is a diuretic. Coffee dehydrates your body. So if you have a water bottle before, and at least 2 to 3 cups of water, or just even a cup of water, for goodness sakes, before you have your coffee, you will start to feel better, because one, it flushes out all the toxins. So get your liver working, get your stomach working, because it gets the digestive juices. I will say the word digestive.
Say digestive juices 5 times fast.
Oh, I got that. Oh my goodness. The more I say it, the worse it gets. And it gets your brain working. So that's the number one tip. And then we can add washing your face, clean, using proper skincare. So make sure, like I'm always going to advocate natural skincare products that are 100% natural. And I've just found a fantastic brand that my naturopath recommended me to, and I'll have to find out if they ship overseas, because it is an Australian brand, and they use a lot of native products that our Indigenous people use and have been using for thousands of years.
Is it like clay based and stuff?
No, it's got like lemon myrtle and honey and macadamia. Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, you have beautiful skin, so
Yeah, and I hate wearing makeup, so I put the makeup on for the recordings, but I don't wear makeup to work because, one, I start at 6 o'clock in the morning and
nobody's got time for that.
Nobody's got time for that. I might put a bit of bronzer on so I don't look so pale. But that's
I'm not a makeup person really either. Once after the pandemic and I started working from home 100% of the time, I'm like, why would I wear makeup every day? Like, I never even liked it to begin with. And it's not that I don't like makeup. It's fun to play with, but I'll wear it maybe once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like you, but it is a self-care thing. Like, I still take care of my skin. I use good all natural skincare. I, floss my teeth. Like, you do something just a little extra than the normal routine that just, makes you presentable to the world. That's self-care. Like, it doesn't have to be an hour massage, going to get a facial, going to the spa. Like, that is so far from self-care. And that's, I think, why most people don't do it. And they just automatically say they don't have time for it, is because society has placed this whole name of what self-care is, when
and that's
really at the core of it, it's self-love.
It's literally taking care of yourself so that you are the best version of yourself, so that you are happy and you are healthy. That is what self-care is. And that includes mindset. Like, both Sarah and I are big meditators. And look, I was never a meditator. I was told to meditate. And I'm like, yeah. I used to, admittedly, when I had a really stressful day, I used to do a guided tension release meditation. But I didn't make it my priority. And now I make it my priority. I do 20 minutes a day at least. And like I said, I start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get up crazy. When I'm working in my office, I do get up crazy o'clock. But I listen to, I do on my way to work. You do not need to be in a quiet space to meditate. Meditation is literally quieting your mind from worries and stress. So you could just listen to calming, beautiful music on your way to work, and you could just say some positive affirmations to yourself. You could double up. The good thing about the guide that I created, like, you can double up. You can have calming music and say to yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent. So you're doing those neuro-linguistic reprogramming things, affirmations. So you've combined two activities into one.
Oh, I love a good habit stack,
I love a good habit stack.
Love that.
We're habit stackers. Big time.
Well, and I mentioned that I did a training at some point. Whenever, it doesn't really matter, but I talked about meditation and how, some people, they think meditation is like no, that's meditation for some people, but that's not meditation for everybody. Reading a book could be meditative. Writing in your journal could be meditative. Whatever it is that gets you into this zone where you just feel like it's so quiet and you're so like laser focused into something that is essentially shifting your energy, that's meditation. It's like it's like the word yoga, doesn't it? I think the word in Sanskrit just means like movement with breath. Like,
yes, that's what it stands for. Yeah.
Like, that's what yoga is. But when people say yoga, they're like, oh, you got to be super fit. You got to be able to like do a handstand and, do all that. It's like, no, that's not what yoga is. Yoga is simply moving with your breath. Same with meditation. Meditation is quieting your mind, like Aimee said. So I love having the topic of self-care and really like, what's the right way I want to say this? Just sort of breaking it down and demystifying all of these things. Like, it doesn't have to cost you a dime. It doesn't actually have to take any time out of your day. And I guarantee if you start adding an extra 5 minutes to yourself every single day, you'll actually probably start to discover more pockets of time because you're more productive, you're feeling happier, all these things. You become more efficient in the rest of your day because you set yourself up.
Yeah, and it has a ongoing effect. It's like a domino effect. When you start doing a couple of self-care things, one, it reminds yourself that you are worthy. So it embeds that sense of you are worthy, that you are something, you are special, you're amazing, you're beautiful. But it also, if you're looking after yourself, you're going to be less stressed, so you're going to be more productive. So whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're in any job, you want to be the most productive self. So if you look after yourself by drinking water, not having too much caffeine, by taking a bit of time, if you are having a stressful day, going for a quick walk. If you're in an office, go the long way to the toilet, go the long way to the photocopier, go the long way to the kitchen, or go, you know what, I'm just going to step outside and go and just sit in the sun for 5 minutes and just chill. Taking that time, doing those things has an ongoing effect. When you start feeling better, energy attracts like energy. We are both big believers in this. And you can believe whatever religion you want, but
this has nothing to do with religion.
This has nothing to do with religion. Energy attracts energy. So if you're in an office, and this is the best example because a lot of people can relate to this, there's always one negative Nancy or one whatever you want to call them. If they walk in, the whole room just goes, and they're like, and then they're negative. So even if your partner comes home or one of your kids comes home and they're in a foul mood, and then suddenly you're in a foul mood, and it's an ongoing effect. Negative energy is more contagious than positive energy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it does have the same effect. If you walk in into your home or office or whatever you want to, with this is going to be a good day. I don't care what kind of job I have. You can have the most stressful job in the world. Like I have a pretty stressful job, but I go in and go, we're going to have a good day. And even when the shit hits the fan and we have an emergency situation, I do not panic. I go, okay, cool. We'll just get this done. Come on, team, go team. We can do this. Just stay calm. And it gets the job done so much faster and easier. Everyone is not drained at the end of the day. Positive energy attracts positive energy. Negative attracts negative energy. Sarah and I have so many tips on how to quickly get out of a negative mindset. And so if you need any of those tips, that we will more than happy to share them, because we know how much mindset can change your life, how much it can change your life. It literally transforms your life. That's why my community is about breaking free and transforming, because I myself have broken free from the prison that society put me in and I put myself in, and I'm transforming, and I'm continually transforming. Sarah herself, I've watched her in the last 12 months. It's incredible how much she has transformed. And obviously, if you're listening to this, you probably have picked that up yourself. Each episode slightly different, or if you're in her community, you will know how much it's being transformed, and each day is a little bit different. That's because we work on ourselves. It is not selfish to be looking after yourself. You've only got one you. Refill. I like to say refill your glass, because that's a Aimee glass. So it's my thing.
Hey, I love it. Well, and that's exactly it. Like it's refilling your glass. It's, happiness, positivity, like those things don't just happen by accident. Like it's choice. It's I choose to be happy. I choose to see the positive in a situation. Yeah, I do come across some not so great stuff sometimes, like in my life or in my business. It's not all unicorns and glitter. Like, let's be real, right? It never, ever will be. Being positive, choosing happiness, like it's intentional. That shit doesn't happen by accident. So when you
No.
see somebody who's successful, someone who's happy, don't look at them and be like, oh, they're so lucky. No, they worked their ass off and they got there. They did that on purpose. Let's be clear.
Luck
they did that
has
on purpose.
Nothing to do with it. There's no luck. You make your own.
I will say on that note, though, some people will say, oh, well, you know, they were lucky. It was, you know, timing was everything. Yeah, timing is everything. The reason that people have good timing sometimes is because they don't self-sabotage when an opportunity comes across them.
Yeah.
They take it. So everybody has the same chance at that lucky strike. Everybody's got that same chance. But more times than not, we stand in our own way and we self-sabotage our potential, you know, growth, our potential anything, because we're like, oh, well, I can't do that. That's not for me. That's okay. Well, then, you know, then it's not for you. You're choosing not to have it, right? Yeah. And somebody else chose to have it. And so you can't look back and be like, well, they're lucky.
Yeah, they got that job because, you know, she's prettier than me. No. Okay.
She believed she could get it, so she got it.
Yeah.
Like it has everything to do with it. And I know it sounds so like, for someone who's not ready to hear that, they might hear this conversation and be like, well, this is a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Because maybe you're not ready to hear it. And that's okay. That's okay. I say this with love because I've been there. I have been on the receiving end of hearing someone telling me a truth and me going, I don't want to hear that. What the fuck is she talking about? You know what I mean? Like, so
how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? You don't know my circumstances. You know what? Nobody has a perfect life. Everybody's had some circumstance somewhere along the way that stopped them in their tracks. And the difference between you and the next person is that you kept going and they didn't, right? Like it big, small, ongoing, happened in an instant. It doesn't really matter whatever circumstances happens, you know, in your life, but you got to just push through and learn from it. Right? Yeah. Be a learner, be someone who wants to just experience life. It's not always going to be great experiences, but experience it nonetheless. Yeah. Okay, so as we wrap up this episode, I really love how you mentioned your Busiest Woman's Guide. Can you please share that with everybody?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. I'll put it in the show notes for you guys. And definitely get your butts over into Aimee's group, because I know at the time of this recording recently, she did a workshop on stress and it was awesome. Like the amount of light bulb moments that you get when you're having conversations around something that you kind of take for granted. Yeah. You're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm stressed all the time. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's really talk about stress.
Yeah.
And I imagine that, are you going to keep the workshop that you did? Are you going to put it in the guides or something probably?
No, it will definitely be available. I'm working on something quite big at the moment to help with that. So the beginner's guide, it's going to be a beginner's guide to transforming your life. That is what it's going to be, because it's going to be everything that I've done since basically deciding to change my life. And I will admit, because a lot of people say that, oh, but I had to hit rock bottom in order. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom because that's the only time that you actually see. And the reason why people figure out they change their life when they have hit rock bottom is because they don't have any other options apart from change. Let's not hit rock bottom, people. Let's start changing your life so you don't have to go through that horrible, horrible experience, because it is really hard. Some people do not come back from rock bottom. So let's not get there. Let's start changing our lives. So let's put in very, very simple. We're not telling you to do anything that costs lots of money.
No. Yeah.
Costs lots of your time, because we don't have time, but we are basically telling you that simple things, but commitment and doing them consistently, that's when change happens. And that is the basic thing. So yes, it was Stress Less for More Happiness. And we did talk about what stress does and the difference between stress and all that kind of stuff. But we also talked about like simple foods. Now, there's so many foods that actually reduce stress that you could just eat.
I love
and
food.
Yeah, who doesn't love food? And they taste good and they're healthy, but they also help prevent aging. So for all the women listening to this, they help prevent aging.
Well, at the time of this airing of this episode, that workshop, her stress workshop, will have ended. But you guys like get into her group. I'll have the link in the show notes. Grab your free Busiest Woman's Guide, because if you don't have 5 minutes to pour back into yourself, then that's a bigger conversation that needs to be had.
We need to chat.
Then you need to book a time to chat with Aimee, because she can help you. And I am so excited to see you build this out, what you're doing and how you're helping people, and honestly, how it's helping you too, because entrepreneurship is a journey. It is a journey of self-discovery that I did not expect to experience when I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'm going to build a business. And, I did not expect it to then be this huge journey of self-discovery. And it's been one of the most rewarding and exciting and unexpected things that's ever happened to me. It's really
terrifying.
Cool. I mean, sometimes, but then I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Let's do it anyways.
It's a roller coaster. There's a wonderful, wonderful affirmation that I have, and it's like the ups and downs of life. And even when you want to, like being on a roller coaster and you want to puke, even those stories, when you look back and like you laugh. Like, sometimes you have to go through the storm to get the rainbow, people. So if you are experiencing a stormy patch at the moment, I can tell you now that there is a rainbow on the other side. There is light at the other side, but it does take a bit of work. So let's connect with Sarah, connect with myself, or connect with anyone that you feel that can help you, because you do need support. You need a little cheerleader. You need someone to give you that little nudge or whatever to say, hey, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the storm. So thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely.
We can talk all day. We can talk all day.
I know. Yeah. This could be a whole channel. I love having you on. I'm so glad that you were able to come back onto the podcast. And so I'm really appreciative of it. And you guys get your buns inside of these Facebook communities, because when you're smack dab in the middle of transformation, of change, of wanting something different, having people around you that are going through the exact same thing and experiencing it can really make the journey a lot less rocky. So thank you so much, Aimee. And we'll chat soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
That was so much fun. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you want to get a shout out or maybe even inspire a fellow entrepreneur, go ahead and take a screenshot of yourself listening to this episode and tag us in your stories at Social Jane Media. Positive by Design is brought to you by Sarah Glenn, CEO of Social Jane Media, the branding and business coaching agency that teaches you how to discover your authentic brand, lead with value, and build the business you desire. If you're ready for more, head over to the Social Jane community. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you inside.